there?
Yes, right.
Very clear.
So let's begin. I'll start. Namaskar. This is Professor A.G. Iyer on my show, Professor Iyer Show, which covers economy, federalism, renewables, infrastructure, and key sectors of the Indian economy in particular. Today, our discussion is focused on the tourism industry in India, and the whole is what's happened post-COVID to the tourism and hospitality sector at large. We have gone through one round of closure that happened in the last financial year, and then we again saw wave 2, which has been devastating. It's unprecedented that we have seen. And the worst hit, when I was studying every sector, was the power, was energy, was the infrastructure, but I felt very much that the tourism and hospitality is the most impacted sector of all. And it is connected, fortunately or unfortunately, it is connected with our business objective as well, because a lot of business tourism happens within the country. When we see domestic tourism, almost like of the 6.8% contribution that the tourism and hospitality industry makes to the Indian GDP of 2.9 trillion, most of it, 30 to 40% is coming from, I would typically say, a business travel. And the first hit happens when business travel is hit very bad. Then comes the larger issue of earning through tourism and other issues, which also is almost equivalent, about 35 to 40% comes from there. But both of them are hit because we have this overseas travel not happening at all. We are only lifting the people who are in duress or distress to Vande Bharat and other means. But there is no tourism as such, which is called international tourism at this juncture. Almost it's a nil, the situation. And, it has impacted all the three segments, the major segments that give us, I would say, a very big smile on our face whenever we talked of tourism, hospitality. That was the tourism industry, the hospitality industry itself. And the third part is the aviation sector. Of course, aviation sector may be a little less hit than tourism and hospitality. But yes, but हम ये कह सकते हैं कि इस वक्त जो total 6.8% contribution to GDP थी उसकी, it looks like it will go below 3%. That's what I'm looking at right now when I saw through all the research. It's a very, very troublesome scenario. And we are also, I'm talking to so many people, but three of the best experts are there with you today who can throw light. One is Mr. Baba. Mr. Baba has been an excellent gentleman and also a great, I would say, a man who has done work phenomenally in the Airport Authority of India. He was the ED for communications when he retired, and I would say he was the man at Airport Authority of India whenever we dealt with him. And he's also winner of our MARKENOMY Awards, Lifetime Achievement for public sector communication. So I'm an amazing man. One is the, aviation industry itself. And the other is definitely, he is a very important public sector man for us. So Namaskar, Baba Sahab, for having agreed to join. And we are going to have this entire meeting around you. You're a senior most man and who knows this whole thing. And I've got a very close friend of mine, and he doesn't need an introduction. He has been through and through of what Goa has seen, and he has spent a lifetime on seeing the best part of tourism, because Goa is our masthead of tourism, just like Rajasthan is, or just like Kerala is. I feel these three states make it happen. We are all proud of it. We know the whole pitch when Goa's pitch happened, when I was involved with Goa's pitch. Incidentally, I only suggested the Go Goa idea, Go Goa 365 days, those days. But yeah, I learned it literally when I was part of the Kerala God's Own Country pitch. When I was running the publication called Indian Odysseys. And it's the old days. Of course, I did not know Peter in those days. But yes, I think, I've heard about him at a time. We became friends over the last few years. And Peter is an amazing gentleman who has seen the ups and downs from the time the World Trade Center came down. And then every time there's a hit, Goa was the first which was getting hit. Whenever tourism gets hit, they get hit first. So April, I made an assessment with him on what's happening. Hotels are in duress. Some are out on sale. We are also trying to help some of our friends. But the situation is such that I cannot explain to you that what used to be a 70% ARR, and level and 70% occupancy level with good ARR, I would say, is come down. We are talking of something like an average ARR I'm seeing in India is around 650 to 1,000. Ye halat mein hai is waqt. I heard some of the Delhi hotels in Gurgaon offer me rates which I don't want to name them because it will not look good, because they were all 4-star, 5-star property, which came to 2,500, 2,000 rupees, because they said we just need to recover our, maintenance expenses. So this is the dire straits on side we are in. But, I come with a very positive mindset, because I say there is always a window, and I think the window will be opened by the tourism industry, no other industry, or the hospitality industry, and also the aviation sector, because they are the first ones who can also hold hand, and we have to hold hand, and in turn they will do that for us. So the thing is, now we have got an information which says that India's domestic tourism will be on an upswing the moment these things come to a 80% normal condition also. It's being said that in the year 2022, if things go fine now, if we don't have any major third wave, fourth wave, then or a depleted third or fourth wave, then you can see tourism and hospitality first bouncing back situation for all of us. Now, it is in this that I introduced my other guest, Peter Pinto, who is he's a leading travel agent in Goa, and he's now retired, but he is from the hospitality, tourism and travel industry himself. And we have from the public, our best friend, PVSN Murthy, who was in the corporate sector. We can say that he has seen a lot of business tourism, because half of the time in his life, he has only traveled like most of us. And he has been only through, with his bag and everything, traveling around the globe. And he was with the German company, White Hydro. So I thought it's important to have a interesting public voice who is a professional, so that it doesn't, the discussion goes to the right direction. So with three of you, I start. And the first salvo I want to fire is with Baba Sahab. Baba Sahab, if we start, maybe the tourism hospitality as such, but what is plaguing the aviation industry? We saw two airlines going down even before COVID came. One was the Kingfisher itself, gone, and all the brouhaha and all the fight that's going on to recover on the NPA side is different. That's not the issue today. But then the entire, like one airline going down is like getting down with about 15% of the market is gone. The demand is still there, and the others have to fulfill the demand. They can't ramp up. That happened. Then the second was Jet Airways. And we saw that was already hit. This all happened before COVID. And with this kind of a situation, and the third part is what's happening to Air India, because the government is trying to find a buyer, because it is part of the disinvestment situation. And all these three together, the entire aviation sector was definitely in duress. On दूसरी तरफ हम क्या कर रहे हैं, नए airport बनवा रहे हैं. We have got a major plan for 100 new airports to come up, smaller ones, B towns and C cities airports. And अपनी जो existing airports की capacity expansion की बात हो रही है. Mumbai will get a new brand airport at Panvel, and with all this plan, one side is expansion, और सारी जो layout हुई पड़ी है infrastructure की, and the carriers buying aircrafts as well, and they need, because the demand was there, the latent demand was to be fulfilled, and suddenly this whole COVID thing comes up on our face, and almost like 1.5 years minimum, we have seen that the aviation sector itself has gone to a suppressed load. The first shot, sir, on this.
Good evening, Professor Iyer. Am I audible?
Yes.
Right. Let me first set the ground level. It's good that you have fired the salvo, and I will take it the way it is acceptable to everybody.
Right.
The moment you called me yesterday, because of tomorrow 4 p.m. we have to go the air.
Right.
I said, okay. Though I was occupied with the ET seminar, which is a full day, but I finished that part in the day, and then I was looking forward. See,
wonderful of you, sir. Wonderful of you.
We have really missed something when you were off the air. So that I thought that we must keep that courage on, and we must be on the air. And my association, you rightly said that we had been friends for a long time, but our bonding, our wedding took place when I came to Bombay and Mumbai. So I made good friends, and it will be unfair if I don't talk of Mr. Suresh Sharma. How is he? And
he's fine, sir. He's fine.
He is fine. So that's what I remember. The moment I remember of MARKENOMY, I remember of you, and I remember of him in parallel. And then, of course, our Tyagarajan Iyer Sahab, we made good friends of him out of there. He is there. He's always there. He always control from the back. That's good. And that young Steffi Iyer, I remember.
She's also around in the office hearing you.
So right. So that's what I am connecting. I am feeling coming home back. Oh, right. With this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So MARKENOMY has been a platform of communication And as you said in the earlier phase that we should start with positivity. And I
Right.
always say positive attitude only will take you out of the gloom and the threat. And
Exactly.
in Chinese they say emergency or challenge is comes out of the emergency or is the real test of your survival. And that's
Correct.
why I say India is a giant. India as an economy, as a nation, is giant. We are the seventh largest economy so far as the market is concerned. And
Right.
for the domestic traffic, we are the third largest aviation market.
Right.
And we, just a year, 2 years back, we were thinking that we will outpace the another two country and we will take the #1 position in the world. So that was our status.
Right.
The country which was galloping at a rate of 20-30% per year is now down 30%, right?
Right.
And when I had thought that we will not talk data and statistics, but yes, without that we can't set our goal, right? So we
Correct.
have to talk of data, we had thought of figures. So we were galloping, and the best nations of the world used to feel envy. What is happening in India? Why and how we are 30%, 35%? And people used to ask me, "Baba sir, data check karo, kahin galat to nahi hai, calculation error to nahi hai." I said, "No,
Right.
everything is okay." So that was
Right.
the scenario. But now we are 20% down. So that good. Thank you for this visual. So now with that, if you want me to talk of data, I must tell the ICO has made some judgment about the losses.
Right.
Losses to the tune of $370 billion, and passenger which is down by 60%. And India will also be touching minus about 4 billion by the year 2021. Now, in this scenario, how to talk of positivity? I always tell कि शाहजहां ने जब ताजमहल बनाया था तो अपनी बीबी के मौत के बाद ही बनाया था. वो भी अगर
Right.
सोचता कि यार तो दुनिया ही खत्म हो गई, कुछ बचा ही नहीं, अब कुछ करने के लिए क्या है. So that's why we should not think that everything we have lost everything. There is a lot we had. So what should we do? We should
Right.
tell the people who mean to us. That means the government. That means the investors. That please
Right.
carry on with your investments. Please carry on with your plans. The government had planned that we will make 200 airports. Don't stop them.
Absolutely.
Airports cannot be made overnight. Government had
Right.
planned that we will open regional connectivity. Don't stop them. Government had
Correct.
planned that we will introduce smaller aircraft in the country so that we can connect well. Yes, go ahead. Rather,
Right.
this is an opportunity. The God has given us a pause to reset our motion. Now we can play with the industry the way we want. Maybe earlier the bigger giants were forcing us to follow their way. Now we can follow our way. I think with this, I will again hand over back to you. We can make the things moving.
Right. Now, now I immediately switch over with Baba Saab's first salvo. Baba Saab says there is a potential, there is a reset, there is an opportunity to rebuild and rebuild in the way we want to. You know, these are the things that I got out of him. So that means we will be probably first time, this could be an opportunity to make the tourism and hospitality and aviation industry together go forward in a brand new direction with the infrastructure upheaval, with the, I would say, giving better facility to passengers, and of course, COVID protocol itself. You know, the hospitality industry can adjust. So that's a positive part of the story. Now, I want Peter, because Peter lives in the hotbed, Goa. He's right in around Panji, and then, you know, he has seen closely what is going on over there. So, Peter, you know, my figures tell me that even at September 2020 level, we had almost like 38 million job losses situation, which is almost like 70% of the entire employment in the tourism industry and hospitality industry in India. Now, I don't think the situation has changed much even after second wave, although people would think that the second wave may have done more harm. Because when I was in April, I saw that the occupancy in Panjim hotels was around 65%, and those in the South Goa were about 35%. Not very bad, if I look at, I'm giving a good story because I've seen it physically. I've talked to the hoteliers, all of them. I talked to Victor Albekar, I talked to Pravas Naik, I talked to almost all the daddies concerned, including you. So has that been further hit? What is the reality? Or we have still a chance that Goa still shows us the way? Peter.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for this show, which is our interaction should take us to the next level by way of thinking positively.
Yes.
I think we can, to be very frank enough, when this COVID which started last year, most of the people or the authorities went into negative mode. That is what I could think, instead of going into positive mode.
Right.
Tourism industry could have really sustained if there was little backing from the government.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say, the fact is, till today, I think government has not realized the number of people employed in tourism industry in the private sector.
Agreed.
And if you look at the inbound tourism that we bring in, it generates a lot of foreign revenue for the government.
Right.
Taking into consideration inbound foreign tourists that we bring in, and again you have domestic people who are traveling across, government could have given proper guidelines to follow. Okay, instead you're having 80 rooms, you operate 60 rooms or 50 rooms, and
Correct.
have certain conditions. Don't stop tourism. It's like our tourism industry is like oil industry. If tomorrow the oil is stopped, everything is stopped.
Correct.
The same thing, even the international tourists today, they want to fly, they want to come, but the government is not even issuing tourist visas. You look at UK, we have been doing biometrics in Goa for UK, they are still issuing tourism visas. Although people cannot travel, but still, those who want 5 years visa, they're giving it. They are still ready to accept people in due course of time.
Right.
Why can't we adopt the same systems in India? Secondly, we are talking about what is that called? Vande Mataram flights.
Vande Bharat.
Vande Bharat flights. I mean, they should have not done it. They should have opened it to other airlines as well.
Correct.
I mean,
that I agree.
There's a lot of things. What do you say,
Right.
Mr. Gurmukh, Mr. Murthy, on this?
Mr. Murthy Saab, you are from Telangana, one of the upcoming tourism destinations also.
Absolutely.
So can we have your views as a business traveler and as a man who has seen this, movement much easier before, and we are seeing that we are almost locked down now.
Yeah, absolutely bogged down. You see, what I look at it is as a hotel loyal member or a loyal airlines member. If you are making 5+ or 8+, normally treat them as a loyal member, and that's more than what we used to do in my earlier travel. I used to do much more than that actually. See, what is happening is the business has suddenly shut down. That's what we are feeling today. But at the same time, the second wave has not stopped the business people traveling still. Let me tell you that fact, which I am seeing today. Right now, we in Telangana, we as a business people, I am a part of a business organization here, a small business group. I also had one of the branches there. So the people are not stopping business as such. It's become part of life. People are trying to take COVID-19 and its effects as a part of life and trying to live life as it is comes. So what is happening is now, if a businessman wants to come to a hotel, what he's trying to check is what are the safeties he's going to get against the new pandemic.
Exactly.
That is one area where if he gets an assurance from the hotline, that's what I'm taking care of you. I will take care of you all these things in my hotel. People are ready to travel and stay in a hotel. Same thing with the airlines. See, airlines said we will take care of travel with one seat vacant and everything. People traveled. In fact, last year in the peak, almost when almost nobody was traveling. I traveled to Delhi in the last June, in fact, June 1st. I traveled to June 1st to Delhi. While going on a Vistara flight, it was quite comfortable. All middle seats were empty, and we didn't feel any uncomfortable. There are a lot of social distancing done. All things have been taken care of. And while we are coming back, also I booked by Vistara. Again, I booked Vistara. Reason for going for Vistara is I had some bad feedback on Indigo. Though I am getting a cheaper ticket on Indigo, still I prefer to go by Vistara. And Vistara, at the time they were taking quite good care of the people right from boarding to deboarding. And I got a middle seat, so I have been given a P kit, and all these things have been taken care of. So see, people are not afraid to travel today. No businessman would like to stop his business. That's what is the crux of the things at the end of the day. We cannot stop all the work and sit idle in the house. Yes, most of the work which can be done through a Zoom meeting, people are trying to do it. But there are certain meetings which can be done only through a physical meeting. That can never be a solution for a Zoom meeting. So the requirement for the business meetings might have, as international travel has reduced the business meetings, but local travel of business meeting, in my opinion, is still going on. And I think the moment second wave suppresses a little, I think that is going to grow up in a big way. And only thing what I personally feel is the assurance from the hoteliers and the airlines and the airports that what safety measures they are going to take care of it and how best they are going to implement it. I'm using the word the best implementation is more important. You see, we have uh, we have an Indian mentality. Whatever you see, when you fly in a flight and the flight lands earlier days, even before the flight fully stops, everybody stands up and tries to pick up your suitcase and run around. See, that's what the mentality of most of the Indians. Unfortunately, this mentality has to stop from the travelers as well as the airlines have to insist on this. And this at least last year, June and September, I have seen that mentality was not there. People were sitting till everything is closed. Only when the row was announced to deboard or board, they followed it very strictly. That was a major change which I shared on my social media platform also. And that is what is required here. What I look forward is if the hoteliers, travel industry, tourism industry, and these people ensure the safety measures, then people are ready to travel. You see, I have seen a lot of people traveling even in the last September, October, November, December also to some of the destinations like Manali and everything places. In my close family, friends, and everything, people travel. People travel. My own son traveled to Kochi for one of the meetings, business meetings. So it's not that people will stop it. You see, people are looking at a assurance. See, if a business traveler like me now wants to travel, I'm looking at an assurance from the hotelier where I'm going to stay in a hotel, what safety measures I'm going to get it. That's what basically is the crux of the problem. Yes, that is going to add to the cost of the business. There's no doubt about it. The safety precautions, measures to taken care of is going to add to the cost of the uh, things. That cost, how it can be recovered back is the question which has to be seen. And as Mr. Peter has rightly pointed out, it's government has to be more positive on these issues. I don't think government is positive on these issues. That's what is lacking actually. If that positiveness comes, everything moves. You see, I'm one person always in all my meetings. I always tell the people, always think positive. Don't look at the negative things. Our aim is to suppress the negative and talk about positives, whether it is a human being or an organization or an association, whatever it is, everything has a
Yeah,
positive and negative. So our
absolutely.
idea is to suppress the negative, think positive. That's what is required. And that
Okay,
way this will go on. Okay.
okay. All our friends, see, we have, I think, 3 to 5 minutes, but we'll log in again for our second part of this. We'll continue. But before the next question that I'm going to fire to Baba Sahab that I will like to say right now. And that question is the protocol of travel. One is key. The world is, going to a different direction, vaccination. But I am a devil's advocate. I'm saying all may not agree to vaccination. Many may not need vaccination. Then those who are already got mild attack of COVID, for them, the immunity already in Lancet major publications come is more than 1 year or 2 years. So in this situation, we have still not developed a protocol. And I think the best protocol would be only a RT-PCR or a higher level of testing, and which is faster. That means it comes in barely minutes at the airport. And this should be bundled. I'm a devil's advocate, bundled with the airline package. Instead of forcing the airline traveler to go all around scouting for his travel, I think it should be part of the package, Bawasab. So this question we will address in our next segment. And I want this discussion to have, because otherwise this tourism industry will not be able to handle. Pehle to log jaye, travel kare, and that protocol comes from airline, goes to transport sector, goes to other sectors also. So with this, we will return back, and it was a wonderful first round of our this in the episode 1. Episode 2 is going to be recorded together with it, and looking forward. And you have to log into the same thing. You don't have to do anything. The same thing will be logged in, sir. And we are back here.
Good. Right. Thank you.
2 minutes break.
Yes.
Yeah.